Let's talk about Battlefront. Battlefront was a joke, an absolute joke. EA and DICE, they're scam artists. Scam artists, like, they didn't have any content, barely any content in the game at launch. It was ridiculous. And they had the audacity to charge people for season passes and extra DLC. How can you charge people for DLC and you barely have any content in your game? Now, there's more DLC than actual original game content. And you morons are like, yay, DICE, they're the best company ever, they give us DLC. No, you morons. They couldn't care less about you. They're just profiting off the season passes and the DLC. You do realize that, right? You honestly do realize that. Battlefront is the most shameless game that's ever been released. It doesn't play anything like the original. It's just your generic first-person shooter. They were too lazy to actually change the gameplay aspects in their actual Battlefield games. This is just a reskin of Battlefield. No difference, nothing. Just a reskin, no new game modes, no interesting changes of gameplay, nothing. Just your generic walk around, shoot people, Battlefield game. And it shows. It shows. This game was a failure, an absolute failure. There's no core gameplay mechanics at all. Just walk around and aim and shoot. It's a shoot 'em up. Who wants to play that? Who wants to pay over $100 for your generic shoot 'em up? They just reskin the game and then sell half the game at launch. They don't even try to make a full game at launch. The original Battlefield 2 and Battlefield 1 were better than this. Way better than this. They had much more content to do, much more stuff to do. They had way more maps. And at least they had a campaign. I mean, I don't understand how games can get away with being released without a campaign now. I mean, honestly, how? If they did that back then, the game would be laughed at as a joke. But now, since gamers are absolute morons now, they just let the companies get away with anything. They don't even. They could just release a game, no campaign, no multiplayer, and people would still buy it. Because you guys are morons. The people that buy this crap. This is not Battlefront. This is a laughable cash grab. I'd rather play Battlefront 2 than this. And that game's like, what? Over 10 years old already? A 10-year-old game has more content than a game released in 2016 or 2015. I don't understand. I don't understand what's wrong with you people. You guys go and criticize anybody who criticizes EA and Battlefield 1, the new game that's getting released, and saying it's going to be the good game because DICE released a good trailer and they made the graphics look better, so it's a good game. No, you morons. Do you honestly think just because the graphics look good, it's a good game? That's what fooled you guys the last time on Battlefront. You guys were so focused on the graphics, you forgot about gameplay and how the gameplay has remained exactly the same since Battlefield 1942. Are you utterly insane? The definition of insanity is expecting a new result while doing the same thing over and over again. And that's what EA is doing. They're releasing the same trash over and over again, and you morons think things will change. What else can I say about this game? I mean, I'm sick of it. I'm sick of EA. I'm sick of them exploiting Star Wars. I mean, seriously. In this game, you have different eras. You have Clone Wars. You have the Galactic Civil War, and then you have the new Star Wars movie era, or whatever it's called. They're not going to give those to you for free. They're not. They're going to be divided up. I hope you guys realize that. It's freaking A. They get you to pre-order their games. They get you to buy their games. Once you buy it, nothing you were advertised for that game is actually in the game. And then morons line up like lemmings to get this game, even after they've been screwed over year after year by this company. Why don't you just sell everything in the game day one? Why don't you just sell it all in the same package? Why do you have to have people keep buying stuff over and over again, little pieces inside your game? Microtransactions. Yes, microtransactions are going to be in this game. And it's funny to me because every year EA fanboys say, no, they wouldn't do that. It hasn't been released yet. What are you talking about? And they're so stupid, man. They're so dumb. I mean, how much money are you going to give these guys, for God's sake? I mean, how much money have you spent on EA? Just think about it. Just think about it. $100 for the full game, even though it's advertised as only $60. You have the season pack, or whatever it's called, whatever heck it's called nowadays, and it basically has half the game. It's supposed to be this add-on, but it's basically like half the freaking games in there, so you pretty much have to buy the season pack. Have to. You have no choice, or else the game will just suck for you. Oh well, you'll be playing the same 5 or 6 maps over and over again. If you don't buy a season pack, you'll just be screwed over and you'll just be bored of the game. But the game is boring regardless, in my opinion. So what do we have here? We have stuff that should have been in the original game. Now we have Galactic Civil War era, which was in the last game, and we have Clone Wars era, which should have been in the last game. And then we have the crappy Force Awakens era. And we have Space Battles too, which obviously should have been in the last game. I mean, EA, they'd actually be labeled as a great company if they actually put all that stuff in the original game. But no, they have to dissect it. I mean, who knows how much other stuff they've taken out of this game just so they can make a part 3 and a part 4. It's redundant at this point. And the stuff that's actually in the game, they don't even do well. I mean, you took out all these bits and pieces from the game, but you don't even do this stuff well. I mean, the combat's just boring. The animations look stiff. Your character looks so freaking stiff. Why does the person you're playing look so stiff the way he moves side to side? Who animated this? I mean, seriously, they don't even look like real people. I mean, they're just animations, basically, just moving side to side. And people eat this up. Oh, yeah. Oh, Star Wars Battlefront, yeah. Oh, that's going to be the best game of the year. Oh, I mean, shut up. Shut up. How stupid could you possibly be? This game will suck. It's going to be trash. Everybody who liked EA's Star Wars Battlefront will worship this game, even though they only played EA Star Wars Battlefront for a month at max, when most games you're able to play it for at least 6 months. I played Halo 3 for like 4 years. 4 years before I stopped playing this. Why is it that games like this you can only play for a certain period of time before it gets super boring? Because there's nothing to do. The gameplay's stale. The game is stale itself. There's not enough maps. There's not enough actual variety inside the actual game. You're just doing the same thing over and over again. Running to a waypoint, shooting the guys at that waypoint, taking over the waypoint, moving, shoot 'em up. It's a shoot 'em up. No skill gap whatsoever. There are no good players. There are no bad players. Everything's just given to you. And people worship this game like it's the highest piece of trash ever. Ever. Jesus Christ. The new Star Wars movie era, or whatever it's called. They're not going to give those to you for free.
First off, they added all of those eras because the fans requested them. They are giving you more content than from the previous game because they listen to the fans' feedback. They listen to the fans' feedback. They listen to the fans' feedback. They listen to the fans' feedback.
Okay, here's my top 5 reasons why EA's Battlefront 2 will suck. Reason number 1, crappy third person. The third person in this game is absolutely horrible. You can't even see like 40% of your screen because your character's blocking everything. Third person is absolutely useless, especially in tight corridor situations. If you're playing in third person, you have a supreme disadvantage. Whoever made the third person to this game had literally no idea what they were doing. The third person in the original Battlefront was actually useful because it didn't take up 90% of your screen with your character. It wasn't zoomed in so much to the point where you can't even see what the heck is in front of you. It's retarded. It's like you're playing behind somebody. It's not supposed to be like that. It's not supposed to be like you're playing behind somebody and you're constantly looking over somebody's shoulder. That's just a retarded way to design your game, especially when the people who are playing in third person are competing against people playing in first person, which of course makes third person absolutely useless. Reason number 2, the gameplay is repetitive. The gameplay is just you walking around and shooting people. Just walking around and shooting people. Shoot. Walk around, shoot some more. It has no variety whatsoever. Just run around. Somebody may or may not come into your field of view, and then you press the right trigger, and they go down in 3 to 4 hits. It takes no skill whatsoever. It's not fun. It's not fun. That's why these games that are being produced by EA, they're not lasting long. People play them for 2 weeks and they're bored of it already. If even, you can play this game for like 2 days and you'll be bored of it because it's just boring. The gameplay's repetitive. It's just the same crap, but with a Star Wars skin, as all EA games pretty much are, just reskins of the last, because they're all trying to make money. Reason number 3, there is no balance in the game. The melee system in this game is so overpowered. 2 hits? Are you serious? It takes 2 hits to put a guy down in melee. That is the most overpowered melee system I've ever seen in my entire life. Like seriously, you don't even have to shoot people. You just have to hit them. How is melee more impactful than actual laser bullets? Okay, how is melee more powerful? Who's designing this game? Who in the world thought this would be a good idea to make melee more powerful than the actual guns in the game? Like who thought that would be a good idea? So if a stormtrooper or a clone trooper goes against a droid, the clone trooper, he's gonna win, even though the droid is made out of metal, freaking metal. So if I punch a droid twice, it's just gonna go down for no reason. This isn't Halo where you're playing as a super soldier. It's freaking Battlefront. You're playing as a regular clone trooper. You're not some super soldier with some superpowers that can just knock people out in 2 punches. That's not how it actually works. So you're calling this balance, but they're just implementing features into the game that don't even need to be there. They're just ripping off other games and just putting in a game that doesn't even need any melee. To be honest, it doesn't even need a melee system. Alright, reason number 4, it's published by EA. Freaking EA, the same publisher that freaking makes the 2K games, the NBA games, the sports games, just releasing the same crap year after year. They made Battlefield, they made Battlefront 1, and they were utter disasters. Their track record is absolutely terrible for making games. They don't know how to innovate. They haven't innovated anything. EA, they will do whatever it takes to squeeze as much money from your pockets as possible, and it shows through their track record. It probably took them like less than a month to even make this game. All you do is have to get a team of skinners and modelers to just remodel the first Battlefront, and then boom. I mean, this game is just one giant mod. This game is literally just one giant mod, and they're repackaging it and selling it to you for double the price, and you morons will line up at the day of release just to get this steaming hot pile of shit, and then you're just gonna play it for a week, and then you're just gonna be bored of it. Bam, $100 down the drain for a mediocre game that's already been released, because you guys are complete and utter morons. Reason number 5, game loot. So basically this game is just throwing skill out of the window. This game is just throwing skill out of the window. It's now just this randomized lottery machine that rewards players who have the most money or who have the best luck in the game. It's not based on actual skill anymore. Games are not based on actual skill anymore. It's based on this overrated lottery mechanic. So if you roll the dice or whatever, and you just so happen to get this 10% armor increase, then you just win. Right? 1 versus 1, you will win no matter what. I mean, the game already isn't skill based to begin with, but now they're just making it even less skill based than it already was. Now pro players will be constantly being beat by noobs just because they put the most money into the game. So if a little spoiled rich kid with their parents' credit cards goes into the game and just buys up all the cards or packages or crates or whatever it's called, then he will win every single round. No debate, unless you just get the sneak on him. You might be able to win, but one-on-one, you will not be able to win ever, hands down. This is not a skill-based game, and it's going to frustrate people who don't have these loot crates, and they will either return the game, stop playing the game, or just be forced to buy loot crates and force more money into the game. It's just exploiting as much money from you as possible. As soon as you get done buying the game, you have to invest more and more money into it until your pockets are absolutely drained. This is just one giant lottery machine. It's not a game. It's just EA's excuse and DICE's excuse of taking as much money from you as possible. It's not a real game. It's just a lottery machine. It's just an overrated lottery machine where you absolutely win nothing. The only winners in this game are, of course, the casino owners, which is EA. They're just casino owners while they watch and laugh at you absolute morons that keep buying the same games over and over again. This is the reason why we can't ever get anything good in the video game industry anymore, because the consumers are absolute idiots and they keep buying the same shit year after year. They're just hyped up by the stupid trailers and the stupid scripted gameplay trailers, which aren't even gameplay trailers, they're scripted. And the idiots get hyped up and they play the actual game and it's nothing like the trailer, and then just complain online and say, oh, better luck next time. You guys are absolutely idiots. You guys are addicted to this lottery machine nonsense.